Layla, and I have researched the increasing issue of children living on the streets of India. The reality that there are children living on the streets of Mumbai is a significant problem that will never be fully eliminated, but the fact that they are regarded as worthless by society is a problem that the local people and Christians around the world have a moral obligation to address. Imagine being 5 and waking up under a bridge in the same clothes you've been wearing for a year, huddled next to your friend, trying to keep them warm. This was the life of Bashir. He lived on the streets with his friends since he was 5. They all looked out for each other. One day, a boy named Kyla was beat by his parents for not bringing in enough money, so the other boys all gave him money to protect him from additional abuse. The boys, with Bashir as their leader, trick foreigners into giving them money, find the best places to sleep and work together, oftentimes picking up trash and working along railroads. They live in community without the supervision or support of adults. The problem has increased drastically in the last 2 years. In India as a whole, it has increased by 64%, and in Mumbai by 127%. Mumbai is one of the biggest cities in India, and so it attracts many people looking for jobs. Children come with their families and are usually put to work in the streets. Parents are often demanding of their children to bring in money. Many children run away because their families are abusive, and society disregards all of this. The society runs under the caste system. This is universally accepted in the Hindu culture. It is believed that the old are above the young, the rich above the poor, and men above women. These cultural values are ingrained deeply into the culture, leaving street children at the very bottom, essentially worthless. Living on the streets leaves kids vulnerable. Girls are especially susceptible to pimps who pick them up and use them to make money. For this reason, and the fact that girls often work in households, there are a lot less of them on the streets than boys. Children are often involved in substance abuse because of peer pressure and or demands from authority figures. By living on the streets, children do not have access to health care and are often left cold and malnourished due to lack of food and clothing. To help me analyze this issue, I looked at 3 frameworks. The first is modern liberalism. I chose this framework because it focuses on freedom and reveals the gap in street children's liberties versus other children. On one dimension of modern liberalism focuses on 2 concepts, formal equality and equal opportunity. Formal equality is having access to basic liberties such as food, education, and freedom of speech. Most of the kids living on the street do not have access to these liberties because they need to provide for their basic needs. They first need clean water, food, and clothing. They then have to spend their time trying to acquire money. This shows the opportunity, although it is formal, is not fairly equal. A solution through this framework is to have equal rights laws enforced more adamantly, and to provide access to children's basic needs such as food and clothing. Once these basic liberties are attained, the children will then be able to develop their personal goals in life. The second framework is community building, which is based on Acts 2. I chose this framework because it focuses on community, which is a big aspect of street children's lives. The first dimension says to serve the needy. Another says to have positive community building activities. The community around the street children of Mumbai is not positive. Children are mistreated and abused. This leads to the third dimension, which is having a common positive cultural value. This is a very important aspect of community building, which Mumbai lacks. The community looks at the kids as worthless due to the culture. These values need to change. Programs that bring the community together should be introduced, such as community gardens or athletic centers. Activities like murals that bring people together so they can grow to understand each other and the contribution each has to society. The third framework is the incarnation ethic. This framework focuses on the 3 aspects of the incarnation. First, being available and accessible to all. Secondly, treating people as if they are worth an infinite amount. And thirdly, not classifying people. Jesus became a human, died for us, making us priceless. By classifying people into rich and poor, we are creating a division that disregards our calls as Christians. Looking through this framework makes it clear that the opportunities need to be created which allow people to see the values of life and the negativities of classification. Activities that reveal the children's talents and contributions to society to rid the stereotypes they are under. The number of children living on the streets of Mumbai is increasing, and although
Okay.